So I'm going to start off today with two hopefully short explanations. Number one, I'm calling this series the series of leaders because it's done in 3 attacks by 3 different leaders. Andy is the honorary leader of Elite Force 2.5, and he's doing this first attack, which is going to be the right side clear. So basically, he's going to end up getting all these rocket launchers on this side and the shield gens, opening up these cells for farm, which is actually kind of important later because of a little mistake. Secondly, the reason I decided to do Torrent right now is I was recently in a task force and I was talking with some of the members, and I think that Torrent, there's a lot of potential for teams to get better at Torrent if only they knew the strategies. Each attack just doing a little bit more, making the rush a lot easier. So while this is obviously not the right tribe cycle to be doing standard hits, it's going to have to work for now, and I'll try to get a more standard Torrent up later. As you can see, there's a rocket launcher here, which actually makes life easier. There's no shock launcher here. Otherwise, it's pretty much standard. So neither of those things are going to actually affect this next hit. So the first thing he's going to do is clear these 2 sets of mines, and then he drops 6 boats and brick. I've seen this done typically with 7, but Andy decided to do 6. You definitely don't want to do 8 because of the chances of peeking. And he actually lets his girls farm a little bit too much here, and his smoke is a little bit down. You saw those girls go out towards the left, and that triggered this rocket launcher right here, which will end up costing him a little bit in a second. But you can see he marked this rocket launcher with his mine clearing barrage, and then he ended up marking those 3 as well, and you'll see why in a second. So you flare onto this rocket launcher here, and just as the smoke disappears, you throw the next smoke. As you can see, this rocket launcher did get a shot off, but he was still able to save most of his girls, and the Zuka damage in this case actually helped a lot. So the next part of this attack is actually going to be 3 shocks here. I'm sorry, 2 shocks here, these 3, and catches that. And then typically you throw critters for these 2 doom cannons, which are sniper towers. But as you can see, they're in range or in the safety zone of these 3, and that's another reason why you don't want to take all 8 boats. But as you can see, because he marked, these top 3 rocket launchers were taken out first, saving him some GB at the end. He comes out of smoke here, ends up losing brick, but that's okay. And he shocks right there just because this machine gun right here, he didn't want to rip through his girls, which it definitely would have. Rocket launcher clips the back of some of the girls, and he's able to get that last rocket launcher down and then flare back as soon as possible to save as many girls. From there, you end up landing the 2 boats. As you can see, just barely walking inside that rocket launcher range. So what you're doing now is you're collecting GBE so you can shock or critter these, what are typically doom cannons, and go up there and kill them. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. And this attack, time management is really important. It's easy to get caught up feeding in those cells, but you really need to get back down here and then flare. I like his flare placement where he grouped the girls and then flaring far away to the SG. What that did was give you this nice semicircular pattern, and then sometimes you'll have to flare onto that last SG. He was able just to let himself clear and take it out with 3 seconds left. He ended up clearing this side of the mines because sometimes you'll rush from that side, but we ended up rushing from below. So that was our first attack. It's becoming more and more of a standard attack in Elite Force 2.5, and I know it's been standard in other places for a while, but that was a great example done by Andy. Hope you guys have a good day. This is another AZ tutorial brought to you by Elite Force 2.5. Happy booming, everyone.